It was a stormy night. You know the kind where the lightning strikes.
Alright, welcome to the Appleseed Podcast, where we focus on music, culture, and history. Myself, Christopher Shipman, behind the camera, and we have Daniel also behind the camera. And today we have a reoccurring guest, Chaz, and as well as Bonte as well. This is gonna be a unique conversation, I like to say, because last episode we were talking about how is it easy to gauge between right and wrong, and I think that is a perfect segue into necessarily what has been going on for damn near the whole entire week. And I guess before I even say what I want to say, I just want to ask, how's everyone doing?
I'm good. Feeling good.
You, Daniel?
Oh man, I'm about wore out, physically, emotionally. But I'm good, honestly. It's just 100 miles. It's my butt. But yeah, I'm pretty good.
So I'm gonna assume that everyone is kind of brushed up to speed as to what's been going on for the past week. So, like I said, before I even say anything, like, what is y'all's initial thoughts with what has been going down?
Me easily, and I'm not a person that has this feeling a lot. I'm most time know, like, this is where I stand, conflicted.
Conflicted?
1000% conflicted. From what's been going on to the way I view the world, to what's possible answers. And anybody knows me as I'm not conflicted a lot.
You're pretty much black and white?
I know what I believe in,
yeah.
But man, I've been conflicted, and like I said, it's been emotionally draining, mentally draining. Several nights getting up in the middle of the night, and even though, cause nothing's happened directly to me, you know what I'm saying, but conflicted and just confused and don't have a clue of, an answer or a reason, or, and then, which is all those things for most people. Some people, it might be like, I'm like that all the time, but I'm not a person that's like that. I kind of, but I haven't been very, what you're doing is wrong, or what you're doing is wrong. I can see both point of views. I see why you think that's right. I see why you think that's right. So why you think that's wrong. So you think that's wrong, and have not the clue to where I truly stand on the matter. Very conflicted and confusing time for me when it comes to what's been going on with the protesting and or riots and or looting, and in response to racial injustice. Just being conflicted. Been thinking about my students and my players, because thinking about the ones that don't have an outlet to talk or to express themselves. Thinking about the ones even more so that honestly, it still don't even register them. Like, it don't, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, conflicted is 1000% the best word to express how I've been conflicted.
What's you, Vontae?
I mean, like you said, it's an emotional roller coaster. Like, every time you see it happen, you angry, you sad, you frustrated, you a lot of things. But one word to describe me in the midst of it all, probably more frustrated than anything. At yet another, you know what I'm saying? So the frustrated would be my word to describe how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah.
Man, I went out. I've been going back home helping my dad fishing. Really, just trying to this whole month. I've really kind of took my head off a lot of other tasks and focused on like a lot of old jack type stuff, fishing, putting in floors, these different, running 100 miles. And I was out running today, like backwoods, dirt roads, nothing but rednecks, you know what I'm saying? And even when I run in the city, every time you see somebody, initially I took the running challenge and I was like, well, you know what, man, black man jogging, that's a fearful thing. Why not run 100 miles around white people, But this morning, as I was running, and you like dog tired, but as you running, I just started thinking, like kind of like Chaz, like, what if? You know what I'm saying? What if I got capped out, in the backwoods and milling, But I also started thinking too as well of, like, and it was crazy. As crazy as it is, as much as I knocked Martin Luther King, he actually popped up on my phone. And I was listening to him as I was running, and he said something. He was like, you have a responsibility to your society to try to make it a better place. And that really resonated with me. So I can honestly say that I've been, if I can describe anything, it's just been a roller coaster. Whether before and after. And I think even with the pandemic, that's going on amongst all of this, it's just, to me, it lets you know that how uncertain tomorrow really is. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what it truly captures. And like I tell my dad all the time, when this happens, don't really try to, I really don't necessarily imagine. I think with George Floyd, a lot of people thought of, their brother, uncle. But to me, it's always like that. Or even me. You know what I'm saying? That could be me out there, So this one's different, but also I kind of felt pessimistic side of me this morning, dark side of me this morning, but like, I told y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like my brother said, another black man that got shot again, and it's really not a new story, and it's really not a new plight, but it is still a bad pain, Yeah. So that's pretty much how I initially feel today, so just uncertain.
Well, for me, I was playing back the conversation me, Vontae, and Daniel was having last Sunday. And it was a very tug-of-war-ish conversation on, because I was very black and white when it came to like right and wrong, and I know your stance was your action is only wrong based on intentions. Am I saying that correctly?
Intentions matter.
Intentions matter.
Yeah, not
so,
purely, but.
And I think this was a perfect example, or at least for the cop as well as the other three that were involved in the killing of George Floyd. That was an intent to kill. He had his knee on his neck. He knew he had his knee on his neck, and some people even say he had a smirk on his face while he was doing that. So to me, as I'm playing that back, and one of the biggest conversations that I've been hearing across social platforms is accountability. And it's not just more so on the cops, that people want accountability on the cops that were involved, and the person that had his knee in the neck of George Floyd, but it's more so having accountability and this is just not the time for people to be silent. And your silence, for people that don't know, is an action. You choosing to be silent in times like this.
Yeah.
And with that, I see wrong in that, because this goes back to like when we have the conversations over like because my biggest objective is to spew out love in whatever way that we talk about in any episode, and it's really resonated with me that a lot of people say they love people, and they say it, but their actions don't necessarily step up to the plate and it's actually being shown upon. So, and love is not just a saying; it's a verb. And when you have people that say that they're for the cause, but they're not necessarily willing to put their lives on the line in order to stand and commute with people that basically are threatened. And because my thing is with this whole thing is that we have a lot of people that are fearful, and it's not just black people with the concern and the disappointment and the anger and the and being saddened, but the disappointment that the people that they considered to be allies and considered to be their friends, quote unquote, are not necessarily standing beside them. And as much as the lesson in this is to speak on not just the specifics of letting everyone know that Black Lives Matter and it has value, but to understand that this is not just a black life. This is a human life. You know what I'm saying? This is not just a black issue. This is a human issue. This is about right or wrong. And if you choose to be silent, you are wrong in that. You have a choice to be silent, and you chose to be silent when you could have stand. It's really just simple. 3 words: Black Lives Matter. I think that's all. I think that's the only thing that people are really wanting from you to necessarily spout and to pronounce and say. And people are afraid to even say that, as if it's a crime, or as if like everything that they stand for is in danger of just saying those 3 words. So I have a lot to say, but yeah, I have a lot to say, but I think that with all this, I just encourage for people, not just black people, but for all people to just feel, because when you are not only silent and are afraid, it's more so to me a mental health thing. Like you have to be willing to let your emotions be heard, your sadness, your anger, your disappointment be heard, because when you choose to basically show that you've given up and you pretty much have lost this long journey war that your ancestors before you have been working so diligently hard to making sure that your life is better than their life, generations and generations ahead. But I guess, were any of y'all at the protest, or let's talk about the Atlanta, the reaction to the Atlanta protest that ended up in just utter chaos. Like, what was y'all thoughts on that?
I think that the what I'm finding out in my own life is I think the issue with the conflict, I would say, with having right and wrong at times be so black and white is the fact that life is not black and white.
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter is, it's people, white and black alike, that took the opportunity when people were protest, or even the looting people were using that as protest. And certain people, I'm not going to go into percentages how much I believe they took the opportunity to go get a TV. They saw that it's the truth. Like it's the truth. They took the opportunity to go, man, I've been wanting this 65-inch for years. For years.
Now God is lined up.
God lined all this up for me to get this 65-inch.
Man.
Okay.
So I think the issue becomes is depending on what end of the spectrum you stand on when it comes to, and it's messed up. I'm finna even say end of the spectrum, and what I'm finna say. It matters what end of the spectrum, because we're talking about human life, so it shouldn't be the end of a spectrum. It should simply be, but the truth of the matter is that's not the reality that we live in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's depending on what end of the spectrum you come on, you know, you have people that will take the few people that's looting and a few people that are stealing, taking things that don't belong to them, material things that truly don't matter at the end of the day, and try to discredit a whole movement that is going on based off that. I also understand people, TIs, the Killer Mikes, that says that Atlanta's not perfect, but it is different. And the truth of the matter, Atlanta, Georgia is different. It's not the average American city. It is different. I don't 1,000% agree with him, but I get T.I.'s premise when he says this is Wakanda. You can't. This is the one place that we protect. You got to protect this place. I completely understand. But for the people that were looting, being destructive out of their anger, I can understand them also. I understand being to that point where you say, I'm not destroying things because I'm hopeful. I ain't hopeful no more. So if we got to go out like this, let's take some shit with us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Chaz is there, but I sure do understand.
Yeah.
For the people that still have a hopeful mindset that say, you know, hey, I don't think that's necessarily the way. It's our community, it's our neighborhoods. Why destroy it?
Yeah.
Once we get past all this, we still going to need those things. I understand where they come from. I understand people that say that, well, really, it's not really ours. It's corporate America is owned by corporate America. We fund it. It's funded that they basically leased us. We don't own it. It really don't. That's why I say I'm conflicted, because I literally can understand it from every point of view.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to say, from your point of view, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm never like that. Most times I say, no, I don't agree with you. I think you're wrong. But I literally understand it from everybody's point of view.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Atlanta. I understand it from many people's point of view. Even for the people that are just going to get 65-inch TV, I can understand. Hey man, they gonna kill us anyway. I might as well be able to watch it on the 65-inch. I can understand. I literally understand it from everybody's point of view. In particular, I'm not gonna be honest. In particular, if you're black, white point of view is a little. I can understand it, but it's a little hard. No, like it's not. So it's definitely a little harder. But especially for black people, I can understand it from all the different varied point of views we have. I completely can understand it to almost all of them. I can. And that's why where I stand with most things, how I stand on Atlanta. It's not the smartest thing to do, because it is one of the cities that you can quote unquote say
they're trying.
Yeah, it's a black city. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of black money in there.
There's a lot of black culture in there.
But even in Atlanta, if you at the end of the day go to the top politicians, even you go to, especially corporately. Last thing I know, Coca-Cola is owned by a white man. Mercedes-Benz is owned by a white man.
Yeah.
Like, so even with that, you still have to dive and say, okay, how much then? You know what I'm saying? That's what, I guess the thing is hard about right now, it's truly the thing is hard about life. Everything's on a spectrum. You know what I'm saying? It's a black city, but let's go in depth. How much of a black city is it? How much is truly owned? You know how much truly owned by black people? Which compared to a lot of cities, the number for Atlanta is a lot. But it's like, I tell my kids, when you go from a 0 to a 30, that's a 30-point improvement. It's still feeling great. And that is the tragedy of black America that we've been living with for a long time in this country, is that our scale is always different. We always have to give a F plus a hand clap because it's so much better than it used to be. But if you compare it to the rest of the world around it, it's still
mediocre.
It's still mediocre. But we give it a hand clap because it's so much better than it used to be. And that is something I don't have an answer for. That's just been our honest struggle for a long time. So like I say, I understand it from every person's perspective. Where my perspective lands, the hell if I know at this point. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm angry. I'm confused. I'm honestly doubtful.
And then I think the thing that makes it, to me, in Disregard, so bad like I was telling Stacey up to the point, we've been fighting for this for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and I said it's kind of funny in a weird way, but like I said, and I thought about you gotta think, man, people marching to be human.
Yes.
We're not even marching, and that's why I told you, we ain't even marching for equality anymore. You just marching like, hey man, can I walk down the street? Can I get arrested with just handcuffs? Please.
And speaking of that,
you know,
what Daniel was saying, that's what I was telling Raquel. I said, I said a few Facebook posts I seen of two people I consider pretty decently close associates. We're friends at one time, but kind of distant. We don't talk as much. Both of them are white. One of them, a white guy, used to live in my neighborhood. Actually, my family was actually really, really fond of him. At one time, he was the only person my dad was allowed to be in the house when he wasn't home. Then another associate that was a fellow teammate from like middle school all the way up through high school. And I seen two posts. One of them posted, I stand with you when it comes to injustice, completely. But looting is not protesting. I don't care what you say, I'll never stand for looting. He's a human being, he's the right to his opinion.
yeah.
But my problem is the inability to say, I disagree with you doing, but I understand. And to me, that's not a black and white, it's human.
Yeah.
Chris, somebody killed your mother. If I stood as human and said, Chris, I don't agree with you going to kill that man, but I understand. He took your mama from you.
Yeah.
To me, that shows a lack of, you don't see, I'm so okay, that's a lack of humanity, you see. To say, I disagree with the way you're going about it, but damn if I don't understand why.
Or respect.
I respect what you do.
You know what I'm saying? And so the second one said, the one that used to be my teammate is a former, is a police officer now, and he said, I feel real funny, white guy. So I feel real funny being a police officer, and having friends of mine say they want bad things to happen to police officers, whether it's death or harm. And once again, respect where you're coming from. You're a human being, you have a right to feel that way. My initial thought was, well, how do you feel about your black friends? They gotta keep watching this. And people in the former black player Stephen Jackson made a great point. I don't know if white America understand this. It's not just the black adults seeing this. We gotta explain this to our 6, 7, 8-year-olds why we die like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain that to your little white girl or your little white boy.
Right.
It's a difference. And I'm not saying agree with everything we say, but it's on a human level to say, damn it, y'all, I get it. I don't agree with you trying to destroy this country and burn it. But damn if I don't get it. I just think y'all should sing some hymns and be a little more patient and give us time to fix this in the courts.
Right, yeah.
Even though I totally disagree with that thing, me being human, I can say, okay, white man, I can understand you feeling that way. But to be like, I just don't get out, like, you don't?
Yeah.
Like, you don't?
Yeah. And I think
I don't understand.
we don't, like you saying, you really can't know how to feel because you're numb to it. We just seen it over and over. I done seen rioting. I done seen
marching,
brutality, right?
Protesting.
I done seen protesting. I done seen it all multiple times. So after the 30th time when I see it, it's like I don't even know
Should I even
no more.
go out and march?
I don't even know
Type
no more
deal.
because I done seen us march and it happened again. I done seen us protest. I done seen us
riot and loot.
Riot and loot.
And it can't
You know what I'm
happen
saying? It's
again.
been 30 years since Rodney King. 30 long ones. You know what I'm saying? And we still doing that same.
And the audacity for some people, whether it's white or black in America, to tell us when you say something like that about the king, to say, but y'all got LeBron James.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, like what is that? Yeah, what is that?
The audacity to use these things, especially money is the main one, to say, but look, like it can't be that bad because this you guys have this and this.
And then if you look at the spectrum, like LeBron he might have just entered like the bottom of wealthy. The bottom. Like bottom.
Yeah. And the thing about it is this. Nobody would ever tell the white teacher in Columbia County or tell the doctor at AU that make $500,000 a year. They never tell them when their son die, hey, you should get over it. You make $500,000 a year, it's okay.
Yeah.
They would never say that. No, I don't understand. Like I can honestly say, like just on a human level.
Yeah.
On a human level, like not to say, guys, y'all, I understand. I would really appreciate if y'all not burn our AutoZone and our Walmart.
Yeah.
Because I am the general manager and I like what I'm making. But if damn I don't understand, why are you so angry and why you feel the need to handle it this way? Yeah. And like I said, it goes back to what Daniel alluded to, and what I was telling her is, I'm tired of explaining people our humanity.
Right.
I'm sick of it. To try to give you reasons why, like, I'm tired of it. Because when you can see the humanity in Caucasians, white people, enough that to understand of when their team loses or wins a sport, an event, and they go, honestly, they don't label it, but it's a riot. They go have a riot, turn over cars, burn stuff. And you can see it and be like, okay, I understand the passion behind it.
That was good.
I understand that.
Boston fans different.
Yeah.
And not only understand it, but glorify it.
Yeah. Don't go batter them or nothing.
And all we saying is, hey man, we don't want to be killed by the very same people that's supposed to be help protecting us. Like you said, we need to we done jumped off for at least this time right now in history, we done jumped off the whole economic empowerment and all that. We were like, hey man, if I'm alive in my projects, in my hood, I just want to be alive, man. And not to like to be able to understand that, like, dang, like, these folks just want to not get killed by the people, the very same people that's supposed to be protecting them. Like, to understand that. Because the truth of the matter is, they say, you know, one of the things that's always used, black on black crime. Cool. Very issue, and I will make a comment about that later on in this conversation. But the thing about it is this, at the end of the day, whether you black, white, Hispanic, the thief is supposed to steal from you.
Yeah.
The gang member is supposed to make you feel like you're in the harm's way. That, like, they're filling the role as supposed to. It's not the shit you expect from cops. And for you, no matter what color you are, not to understand that. It's not what I expect from a police officer. Right. The way it's designed is, that's supposed to be one of the people I feel the most safest around. I don't understand how people can't understand that stuff. Taking away black and white on a human level, I can't understand that. It's baffling and confusing to me.
Yeah, some of these videos I've been seeing on social platforms with tanks in neighborhoods.
Oh yeah.
And pretty good neighborhoods too.
Pretty good neighborhoods, yeah. White people getting shot at by police. And I don't even know what type of gun that was, because it was like green. It was like green. It was like green stuff.
Got the man in black stuff out now.
Oh yeah. And I think that's, to me, that's the craziest thing to see in today's time of, you think you done accomplished so much. Right. And really, to me, more and more, you realize, man, stuff really hadn't changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell Chaz all the time, like, think about it, man. We always talk about the people, like, we always talk about Bernie Sanders marched for Martin Luther King, right? We always talk about those people. Remember, somebody's granddaddy marched against Martin Luther King too. They still alive. That granddad or somebody mama, maybe. Because it only 30, 40 years, 50 years. You talking about 60s?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing necessarily that we don't necessarily consider of. A lot of this stuff still doesn't exist, even though we don't want it to. I agree with you, Chris. Like, we maybe are pushing towards something better, a better day, 100%. But I think a lot of that stuff still exists around that time today. And to me, for a lot of people to have the liberty necessarily as a professional. Because that's always my thing. Like, for example, if a teacher slept with a student, if let's say a grown teacher slept with like a little kid, and my only thing is necessarily with your craft, whatever it is, to me, you should have basically accountability amongst that, especially professionals. Like you said, a drug addict, somebody stealing from you, a thief, whatever, hey, you know, that's just a variable. That can happen to anybody. But a professional, you should be held to pretty much a 95% error. Like, okay, margin of error. And then, you know, you got that 5% of, hey, I just don't know. You know, like, hey, he had a gun on me, I shot him. Cool, you know, I understand that 100%. But I think in these regards, and like I noticed a lot of white people, like I told y'all off camera, a lot of white people talked about this one. A lot of people, I'll just say a lot of people in general, was touched by George Floyd. Because to me, his was hands down. It wasn't no question, it wasn't no confusion. You know, Arbery had a lot of confusion, you know, for a lot of people, different things. But this one I think was very clear cut, straight to the point. You know, basically, like they say, you got your hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah. Piggybacking off of what Chad said, he's saying like when you was saying like them understanding, or saying you understand, or getting someone to say, I get it. I don't agree, but I get it. Empathy, right? I think
it's supposed to be a natural human response,
right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking for anything that it's supposed to be, and that's why I say I'm so conflicted, because now I'm starting to get, is that true? Look, that's what I've been taught. That's supposed to be a natural human response, empathy.
Right.
Yeah. No matter what color, they're supposed to. Now I'm starting to think, is it?
Yeah. But
are we sure?
In our situation, I think what it comes down to, when you talk about black and white, the willingness of someone to share their white privilege. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. When you share your white privilege, you showing me you understand. You know, I might not agree, but I'm gonna share some of my white privilege because I get it. I understand, and I can help by doing that. You know what I'm saying? But to me, most of white America aren't willing to share their privilege and let you know that.
And the reason why is because the stuff that happening to us is inhumane. This stuff, like the way they treat it, is human.
Right.
And every human should be treated that way. That's the reason why they like, oh, okay.
I don't want to give
looting. Like, for example, when they see somebody stealing, they like, oh, well, an average human would never go do that. Like, me and Susie would never go loot at a store.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have been treated inhumane the whole time.
And so you're shocked by my inhumane response.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at what made my inhumane response.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But
the whole looting thing, man, I'm sick of that. Like,
so let's get in the bottom. Let's get to the bottom of all this looting thing, because there have been talks or rumors that there's been actual police cops disguised as protesters, and
I've seen that. I know you're talking about it.
And actually are causing the destruction that we're seeing on the streets, like in live news video and stuff like that.
They should be initiators.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but there's actual footage to show proof of that. Like it's not a conspiracy or a rumor. It's an actual fact.
Yeah.
And that I think that's, to me, it shows, okay, so we're not really dealing with cops, even though they're dressed up as or supposed to be cops. We're actually dealing with someone. We're actually dealing with someone that has no morals, no sense of accountability, and just has no objective of any good in them to dish. And I think what happens is, because this also made me realize, I wouldn't say realize, but it really confirmed a lot that, oftentimes people do the most people do the most wrongful actions out of the sheer fact that there's nothing else that they can possibly do, and it's and to me it's like, you know, it's like, is there really any wrong in that, to be honest? Like, if, like, would they have done that off of any other, after any other circumstances?
So I can understand what you're saying. Give you a string example. For some, I'm from it's really, really tragic, but just try to get the understanding.
Yeah.
For the little girl that has been molested from birth to 12 that commits suicide.
Yeah.
Is that suicide? So, like what she did caused her, like in a normal circumstance, when she had committed that suicide, you know, and that's one of them topics people feel, you know, right or wrong about with suicide. But so using that as the kind of a context, like how wrong is that really? You know what I'm saying? Like what about the action that was done to her to make her feel like this is her only way out? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get you. I get you coming from. Okay.
So my whole thing is, it brings up the thing, like, someone, to me, I try to live the best possible life, straight, straight and narrow, and it brings up it really puts you in a position to really say, like, if I was in that position, how would I react? And like, and to me, it's just, I don't know. It's because to me, like, I'm very calm spirited. So I couldn't see myself breaking windows and things of that nature out of the sheer fact that I'm angry and pissed off.
And imagine, like, because the way I see that, like, it's such a low blow to me. Somebody, like, they really call them instigators, you know. And imagine somebody, like, doing that, knowing I'm not gonna get blamed for it. You know, like, knowingly.
Yeah. And if this thing goes to the worst version of it, which is police starting to turn on the protesters, which you gotta understand, protesters are just citizens that are protesting.
Yeah.
And people say it like it's another country fighting or something. No, there are citizens that are protesting, making protests, that you're not gonna catch the vitriol.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you're saying. Then it goes back to humanity. Like, what in the sense of humanity, this is what we've been taught. It. What human can be okay with that? I'll go start this, knowing that the potential product of this is giving other police officers, giving them what they feel is the right to protect themselves, and to attack a group of people that's protesting something when they know they're outgunned and out ammoed and out, what humanity you says, yeah, I can go do that. Yeah. That's okay. I can go do that.
Yeah, and it creates a storyline also. They go, and then it's a justification process. Look at what black people do.
Yeah.
He deserved to have a knee on his neck. Look, they just tore the city up and set it on fire. But no, you got police out here hiding and doing it. Like, no, my man. If you gonna loot with me, put your blue on. Like, it makes.
That'd be a power statement. Like, I would be that officer.
Use your privilege. Like, loot with me in your bag and see if something changed.
Like, it makes no sense to see. It makes no sense to see a pile of bricks, just literally a pile of bricks in no construction zone, and it's just sitting there like it was. Motherfucker, is this staged? Like is this Hunger Games? Like I just kind of feel like you kind of feel like an experiment to an extent. Like you're being pushed,
and it's almost like, are you really making choices?
1000% agree with y'all. Today, talking to Raquel and talking to my guy, Brother Joe, we was leaving. I came to tail end of the protests locally, and we was leaving. I was telling them, I said, I think the issue is with me, and this is why I'm conflicted, this is the piece where I'm conflicted. I said, from protesting to looting to rioting to that white officer having his knee on that black man's neck, I feel like all of it's one game.
Yep.
And the issue is we gotta find a way to get out the damn game. The game is rigged. And not trying to tell people to stop protesting, not telling people all that, but the way it's making me feel after all this time is that it's just we're just in a game, somebody's game. We're in somebody's game. In the answer to beat the fucking game is to get out of it. Don't play it. Cause it's rigged.
But how do you get out of
and
stuff?
That's why I'm left with. That's why I'm getting up in the middle of the night. Cause the question is, well, how the fuck you got?
Yeah, it's like walking up.
You're living. I mean, you're living in this world. You can't just
get out of it.
Can't just get out unless you out yourself. But,
So. Even the used Hunger Games, that's how Katniss Everdeen ended up winning. Was she was like, oh, you know what? This is a whole game.
Yeah.
She had to realize, and I think that's enough. One stage you gotta realize this is all a game.
Yeah.
But I think that is a great parable. And I think the piggyback, kind of what you was hitting on, Vontae, which is I think for a lot of black people, to me, when I look at it, I kind of went back to like elementary school, and you remember like when you wrote a paper, riding all these different things, maybe even doing a protest, whatever. I think it can be productive, but remember that's just brainstorming. I don't think people truly understand that Kaepernick actually kind of did a good job of it. Is like the protest is just the beginning.
Yeah.
My life journey, and I think for him, like I think he's just doing him. But my life journey, this is only the beginning. My kneeling is only the beginning of my life journey, of my true, what I truly plan to basically fill out throughout this. And I think for a lot of people, we gotta just remember that this is only brainstorming. Yeah. Like we hadn't did nothing. A brainstorm is nothing compared to a final draft of the paper.
Protest or right is not the answer.
It's like we got a whole staircase, you know, to get up to the top of, and we get to the 4th step, which is protesting peacefully. Then we get to the 5th step of rioting, and then we just step back down and do all the other steps again. Like, no, we got this whole staircase we got to get to, but it's a victory.
I think
we just test stuff down. It's a victory.
I think the most profound statement that I came across was America is so fortunate enough that black people only want equality and not revenge. Because if that was the case, then
you might not be no American.
What happened in Atlanta would be way worse.
10 times worse in every city.
Because from what I heard, towards the end of everything that happened in Atlanta, even though there was, from what I heard, a strong militia presence, they scattered. So to think what a protest can do, like those protesters really owned those streets. Mm-hmm. Even though there was a big police presence there, they owned those streets. There was no backing down. Those and I think that I really don't know what can necessarily be done to really end all this. And I honestly, to be real, I don't see no ending. I just don't see no ending. I would like to be positive about it, but there's just as much as there is good people in the world, there's evil people in the world, and that's just life.
Yeah, and somebody made a quote. So I had to say it. Somebody said that you can't beat a Monopoly man at his own at Monopoly.
Right.
And as crazy as it is, but like you said, Chris, if you was just as angry, like if you stayed just as pissed, it's like, you know what, bro? Next time they're doing this, it ain't happening like that.
Right.
My feelings will be hurt on this. And it's just like, for example, just like if you get bullied for enough, you be like, bro, next time you try me, oh, it's home.
Yeah.
I use the movie Enough a lot. To me, that's one. To me, that's a great example. Next time, and I'm gonna set it up. To be honest, I'm gonna set you up for this okie doke. But if you take this trap one more time, oh, I've had enough. Yeah. And when a person gets to that point, I forget it's this guy, but he got one of my favorite quotes of, nothing can stop the human will. And I think when you get truly to that point of, even if we're going all the way back to slavery, I'm not going back. You can drag me back. I'm not going back. I'm never going back to that man or woman that I was again. And I think once we truly get to that point in America, Black America, I think it will be some things go on, maybe violence, different things, maybe even different deferring of opinions. But I think that further along, I think that a lot of things actually become changed, to be completely honest. But I think that, man, one thing that's really big that to me in this period of time, you see more and more in the days of time, to me is that, man, you lack of humanity. When I look over, I do not see or do not think of you the same way I think of my daughter or my nephew or my friend. You know, so, and I think whenever you have that type of mentality, you can treat somebody, pretty much somebody else is like, wow, that's not, you know, like they're not human. Like, and I think Cole did it kind of on High for Hours, you know, like, you know, we seen these people clap when we killed Saddam Hussein, but you know, you start thinking about like, don't get me wrong, he might have did some evil stuff, but you're like, dang, that's kind of, like, still a father got taken.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day,
I don't even think I even clapped at that, even though I
don't get me wrong, like, I get it, you know, like, maybe we did something big, but at the end of the day, like, we still had to go murder a
And
man.
then it's like, because then going back leading to y'all conversation from last Sunday is, it goes to the question, I don't have an answer, but the question is, how much darkness do you have to accept before it's okay to give back that level of darkness? You know what I'm saying? So for example, in some people's mind, they have became judge, jury, executioner in their own mind that Bin Laden or Saddam Hussein have done enough evil that it's okay for me in a split second to be evil and clap at his death. Or they might actually feel like you was alluding to earlier, Chris, you go to the point where you think, I don't think that's evil because of what he has done.
Yeah.
So to be happy that he's gone is not evil. And that's when, like I said, that conversation of good versus evil becomes, you know,
a slippery slope.
Yeah, it becomes definitely a slippery slope. But you know, and I think that one of our core issues is in this fight for human equality, not just here but around the world, is we fighting it with the preconceived notions that these rules about humanity are true that we've been taught. You know what I'm saying? So for example, empathy. We keep fighting this with the preconceived notion that empathy is true. You know what I'm saying? And it comes to, in my mind, I can be far stretching out there. I started thinking, well, is the problem is what they're doing, or the fact that we keep going by these rules that are being proven to be not true?
Right,
we keep assuming that empathy is a natural human response. It's a time to start thinking that maybe it ain't. Maybe we've been taught that it was a natural response, but is it truly a natural response? Or is this thing, like I have seen a lot of crazy, but I try to read stuff, crazy white scholars, you know, their whole thing about the plight of black people is we're just a superior race. This is just biology. This is just the survival of the fittest. That's all this is. Can't really matter to us. So they're taking away this whole human empathy thing. It has nothing to do with it. This is just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not saying I'm totally there, but I'm starting to think like, is this whole notion of humanity that all of us have brought up, like, and it's don't get me wrong, it's a messed up place to go and think. But I'm starting to think like, is that the trick in this whole thing? In a way, the fact that we keep leaning on that?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, don't empty supposed to drive you, and maybe that's the answer. Now that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm just bringing something to the table. Not saying that's totally.
I think letting out your anger is way much easier than juxtapose showing an act of kindness. That's something that has to be learned. That's something
more so than letting out.
That's a trial and error.
Yeah.
You know, I think that sense of jealousy or all these negative components, it's something that is within us because that's just the world that we live in.
Yeah.
We are what this world is, to be honest, and you know, and it's and I think the overall arching theme in this world is to be better than we was once before, and if we were already better, then there will be no sense of becoming better because we're already better. So I think that
So are you saying it's not in the sense that empathy is supposed to be so automatic? It's the fact that we have the ability to be empathic.
We have the ability. We have the capability.
We have the capability. But even with anything you have the capability to do, a lot of things have to be taught.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And in essence, stuff on the negative end seem to be more natural, like breathing.
Yes.
You don't have to be taught how to breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But okay.
All right. So somebody brought up a good, a point. and I actually want y'all to kind of talk about it to get everybody's perspective. So somebody brings up, how about we figure out how to stop killing ourselves first? Ourselves as in black people. How can we ask America to value us when we don't even value ourselves?
Can I be honest? I don't even think white people would think like that. I think that they don't value us just off the strength that they just don't value us. I don't think it's off of because they don't value. If they don't value themselves, well, shit, I might as well just get it. I just might as well get my stake in the game and kill them as well. I just think that. I think that is more so an isolated issue outside of just. I think that's more so an isolated issue, an issue that can be addressed on a different day. However, today, and as many cases, we're talking about police brutality, and that's more so. That comes with a laundry list of issues that I think that that can be easily addressed more so than just. Because if we talking about black on black crime, we talking about psychology. We talking about we talking about years and years of something being embedded in you. This in saying that
and not only that, to that person that said that comment, the truth of the matter is, if you can look up statistically, who kills white people when white people do get killed is white people.
Yeah. Who
kill Hispanic people when Hispanic people get killed is Hispanic people. Right. It's called proximity.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that's called. It's called proximity. So that is an incomplete truth that we've been told. You don't value. Because the truth of the matter is this: a white police officer, or a white governor, a white mayor, a white power structure doesn't look at a white man and kill a white man and say, you know what, we're gonna kill a white man because we killing each other anyway. Because everybody kills, whatever your race is, that's who kills your race the most. It's called proximity. Yeah. In point blank. That's statistically proven. It's called proximity. Okay? So that is, I agree with Chris a lot. That is a separate issue.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, and also I feel that that's a telltale sign of what you think. And what you've been brainwashed to believe. That it takes this for your people not to get killed by them people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, my thing is this: I don't care if I slap my brother. None of y'all don't come out slapping my EJ exam. And that's now to me that's a natural human response. Yeah. So that person that say that, I'm quite sure you haven't been perfect to your parents. I'm quite sure you haven't. But I bet not come in your house and do anything to disrespect your parents. No matter what you done, no matter if you done ever said something under your breath, no matter if you ever cussed them out, no matter whatever you done to them, and they're your parents, you're not gonna listen to me say, you know what, well, I cussed your mama out because I know one time you cussed her out. You know what I'm saying? And if you loved her like that, how you can expect me to love her like that? Yeah. That's a bull crap statement. In point blank, that's a bull crap statement. Do we need to treat each other better?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Also, you have to take into account. I can't remember who said this quote, but I'll say this. You put people in the cage and treat them like animals long enough, they'll start acting like animals. Right. Next step after that is they'll start believing they're animals. So you have to ask yourself, what conditions have your people been put into to treat each other like this? It's all called condition for that person that had that comment.
I agree with what everything Chad said, and the only thing I was gonna add is that you gotta take into account the media's role in all of this. We have overinflated numbers when it comes to marching a black boy or a black person period across the screen at night to show what a criminal looks like, to show what anything negative looks like. So they gonna overinflate those numbers and tell you black people kill black people more than white people kill white people because they want you to think black people are killers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just gonna take their word for that and then say, well shoot, since the Crips and Bloods kill each other, the KKK kill the Crips and Bloods.
No, something that I think very funny. We was talking about integration, and it goes to me perfect with this conversation. and I was arguing with somebody that actually was saying that they actually black person, scholar, I respected them like 100%. And they was actually saying that, you know what, actually, I'm actually on the other side. You know, a lot of people say segregation is actually better for black people. But he was like, I'm actually on the other side. I actually think integration is better. I was like, interesting, okay. So I actually wanted to hear his points. And after listening to him, we kind of met in the middle. I said, well, I think integration would be better if we actually were integrated. I think the problem with integration is we're not integrated. The issue is necessarily, like I was telling him, I said, like, for example, I grew up at a county school. So I said, actually, as crazy as it is, I actually went to a integrated school. Yeah. It was a decent amount of black people, a decent amount of white people, some rich black, some dirt poor blacks, yeah. Some rich whites, some dirt poor whites. We had rich Hispanics, we had illegal Hispanics. Like we actually had a diverse school. I didn't realize that at the time. I saw it more black and white until I got into college. I was like, oh, but I thought every school was like that. But I think issues will actually be a lot better. Because like, for example, with private schools and different things like that, PWIs, all this, that, and the third, if things were actually integrated, life would be a lot easier. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, if my neighbors were white, Hispanic, you know, if everything across the board was diverse, because there's a lot of places that, honestly, y'all don't want us in. Right. Flat out, just to be completely honest, especially in the South, Augusta. Maybe not everywhere. Maybe California could be different. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, to me, to be honest and true, I just truly believe, even if you look at the government, it's not diverse. You see what I'm saying? If things were actually properly integrated, I actually think that a lot of these issues could possibly go away. But when you look at it, it's not integrated. Like they say, South Side still prove it's still segregation. So, I mean, it's just very interesting. And somebody brought up another point that was really good. And somebody actually responded to you, Chaz. We'll come to that in a minute. Somebody brought up a point of if they truly feared us, basically, like I'm assuming they're talking about the police or the government. I don't know. They truly feared us. They wouldn't kill us because they would fear basically of them getting harmed back. What's y'all perspective on that? I guess I'll start with you, Chris. So basically, I think we was talking about it was a little earlier. We was talking about it though, but they said if they truly feared us, like as a person, I think they was kind of responding to you or before Chaz. But they said if they truly feared us as black people, they wouldn't kill us.
So that person, one of the people is like...
No, this is not the same person.
No, I'm asking that person like, that's kind of a broad statement. I'm trying to say, are they wanting to take up arms, black people? Right. We don't have enough...
I can't really put myself in the mindset of...
I'm just confused like what they're so my response, I don't remember that part of the conversation.
My response would be they don't fear the man they see, they fear the color they see. Are you scared of the black race? Period. The black race is what you fear. You don't just necessarily fear that it's just a black person. You fear the black race, and you know that the black race, genetically and every other way, is really a superior race. So that fear, it ain't just me. It ain't just Levante you fear. Hell no. You'll fear Daniel if you see him. You'll fear Chaz too, because we all brown.
I think what he's saying is they don't fear us. Are he saying that we need to make them fear us? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, I was about to say that's from what I'm reading is that they don't fear us.
Oh, he said they don't fear us.
Yeah, like he's saying that basically the reason why they can go up and kill you. I was talking about this the other day. Reason why I can come up and slap you, maybe not Chaz, is because you're 140 pounds.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying.
So like I might feel that I can edge you out. Yeah. Chaz, that might be a lot harder. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the reason why they say, America can say, I can slap him up, but just because I don't fear you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying. Yeah. I get what he's saying. Yeah. I didn't know that was responding, so I was a little confused. He or she, whoever was responding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the person responding to the point, and to your point too, Chris, conditioning can't be an excuse forever. At some point, more of us are going to have to wake up because ignorance is just as harmful as the intent.
Hold on. First, let's clarify. I wasn't giving an excuse. I was basically stating that is one of the reasons for why these things are necessarily happening. Technically someone playing an experiment on your life. It's pretty much the evidence of what it is and seeing how far someone can get pushed. And that just pure, plain and cut of what it is. Yes, we do have the capability and resisting and not becoming the opposite of what we are striving to be. I get that.
To me,
I totally get that.
And then I'll ask that person is maybe you need to raise a level of the black from your life, because if I go, the ones in this room, my fathers, my brothers are law-abiding, good-hearted, kind people. They go work every day. So that's why I don't feed into that killing each other bull that's stuck to the media. Because when I see my everyday life, and I'm a teacher that works at a predominantly black school in a what they consider a lower income area, what I see every day don't match what is shown. Going with Devontae say. So that's why I can say what I can say about conditioning. So that's on a personal thing.
What if their personal stance from what they're saying is the black community that they see is the exact opposite?
Oh, well, like I said, I can't move them in with me. That's that. I can't move them. I can't move them in with me.
You can, man. You got living room.
I do. Well, you my roommate. You tell you want to join, tell them to come on.
But that's like sticking a 12-foot shark in a 6-foot thing, right?
Yeah, like.
And then he have baby or she have babies, and the babies turn out to be 6 feet. Right? And then you say you can't. Eventually, this 6-foot tank can't be the excuse for you not getting to 12 feet. I'm conditioning you to be 6 foot.
Because even somebody that has lived in lower economic black communities before, and even people that, even for a person that works with students that still live in that kind of community, what I see widespread is their image might not fit what mainstream America says it should fit, but them as people are good people. Yeah. So LaQuisha might wear something that's not so considered so right. She might talk loud, but her as a human being that I get to sit to talk to every day is a good person. And that's what I'm saying. We can't confuse about what we do honestly every day. Because even in the worst hood and the worst project, I guarantee you, especially the ones I have lived in or have spent a lot of time in, the majority of people there are good people. And that's my thing. So the person I'm talking to, whoever has had that, you telling me if 100 people lived in whatever neighborhood you talking about, you telling me 90 of them just wasn't shit? That what you telling me? Or you telling me 15 or 20 out of 100 are causing trouble, ruckus, and they get all the attention? That's the question I'm asking.
He claims that majority of our people didn't grow up like you probably did. They probably grew up closer to the way he did.
What is the way he grew up?
Basically, I'm gonna guess urban.
And so I'm asking the person to answer the question. So you telling me if 100 people stayed in your community, you telling me 90 of them just wasn't shit? Answer my question. That's my point. So I'm asking you because you grew up in that type of community, whoever that is. You tell me 90% of them just that one shit. They're just bad people.
So basically, what percentage of people were good and bad people?
Yeah.
I'm asking now because he referenced where
he's been responding.
So since he referenced where I stayed at, so
I mean,
and he said you got to stop, Chad. but I'm waiting for him to respond. Maybe, hopefully, he's still But go ahead, Vontae. Go ahead and give your point.
I agree with what Chad said. And I see, like I know y'all boys, and I see our upbringing as what. Well, D, you grew up in the country. You was out there on that farm.
Shook the corn, took the cows for fun.
But me and Chaz grew up like close together. Like I could jog to Chaz's house probably as a child. He stayed right on the highway by mine. But our upbringing is what I see a lot of young black males exposed to. Like the majority of us aren't in Columbia County growing up in the neighborhoods with, you know what I'm saying? The majority grew up just like me and you in the hood maybe and exposed to those type of and exposed to those type of things. And the people I know a lot of people don't have bad opinions about the people they grew up around at all. So a select few, like you said, maybe 15 to 20 cause of trouble, they get a lot of attention. But the majority aren't good people. You know,
and I would tell that person, I think that's, the person that says that conditioning can't honestly be excused, but the truth of the matter is you the one brought up, you know, your upbringing versus mine, so that speaks to conditioning. So you're gonna tell me conditioning can't be excuse forever, but my conditioning shaped my point of view that I gave. Your conditioning shaped your point of view. So conditioning is gonna be a part of the equation in some way forever. Yeah. They literally express that themselves.
Yeah, that's not like I said, to clarify, that's not an excuse, that's an explanation. And
so it's more of a statement. It's not. You just stating that this is what happened. It's like your analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a better way to look at it.
I like that.
That is a better way to look at it.
But
basically, I'm responding. But yeah, you go.
I guess to talk about, like, I wasn't even expecting to go to the local protest this weekend. I was like, I literally, cause my sister had texted me late Friday night talking about Chris, this is a great opportunity for you to go to Atlanta to cover what's going on. And I was like, is it bad out there? It's like, check the news. And I was like, and I was like, I would love to go out there. He was like, I'll go out there if you go out there with me. And she was like, I get off early from work if you do come. So I was like, okay, I'll let you know if I'm really gonna come up there, and we'll make our way over there, because we were just gonna get document the aftermath of what was going on. Come to find out, change of plans, because she had texted me and showed me that Augusta was having their own local protest. So I was like, why go to Atlanta when I have, whatever was going on here? So I was like, okay, I'll see if what is going on in Augusta is legitimate before I go out to Atlanta. So I actually drove out there with my camera, and
this is Atlanta.
No, this is
local.
So I was like, I'll go to where they're probably meeting up for the protest, for Augusta, and see if it's legitimate, and see if people are actually out there and whatnot, and I'll document it. If no one's out there, and I stay down there for like 15 minutes, no one's out there, then I'll bounce and I'll just head on straight to Atlanta. I come out there, I probably pulled up at like 12:05 in the abandoned parking lot, where the Kroger used to be on Riceboro Road, and they was huddled up and whatnot. And
okay, so this is the first one.
This is the first one.
Yes,
this is the first one. This was the first one. And I guess everybody was trying to figure out who was the organizer, because I guess there was someone put the flyer out there, but no one really wanted.
CP time.
No one really
put their name on it, boy.
No one put
I think it was a good crowd, but they put their name on it, boy. That crowd showed up, everybody was like, hey, it was me. They got the bullhorn in. All right, now. We can overcome, boy.
So for that whole day, no one knew who the thing was, but someone stepped up to the plate. It was a guy with dreads. I forgot his name, but he was a guy out there with the.
Oh wow, so that is cool. So it was just a random dude.
It was a random dude.
Oh wow, okay.
Because he said he came from actually voting, and he said he heard about what was going to happen, so he was like he was going to go out there and see what it's about and what was their purpose and whatnot. So it was a black man. He actually took on the initiative and became the spokesperson of the actual protest Saturday and as well as today. And it was an awesome experience. First day I did not walk because I was there, because it wound up turning into a personal day where I was gonna document the protest, and then I wound up bumping into the news station I work for. And it was this white journalist, and I was kind of shocked because and I was like, they had you out here? I was like, so so I was like,
I thought this was a specialist.
I'm trained to dance married.
So and including this was her first day on her first weekend. So her week has been ablaze. So I was like, I tell you what, I know it'll be a struggle for you since you by yourself to carry not only your this equipment, because they're gonna be marching all the way down from the Kroger on Riceville Road all the way down to the Fox Den and Taco Bell on Riceville Road.
Further down. Okay.
Yeah. So
2.5 miles almost.
So I said, whatever I get as far as on my camera, I'll send to you, and you can use it for whatever story you got. And I wound up turning into a damn day I was supposed to rest. Wound up working. So I really didn't get home till about like 5 or 6 that evening, because as much as that protest was peaceful, and it was peaceful, I left from the protest like probably around about 1:30, and I went back to the news station to like do a hard drive dump on the stuff I gathered into their into the system, the computer, and then I wound up helping someone else with their story. It was another story outside of the protest, and they kind of found out while we were driving to the destination that we were going at. I guess Renetta, one of the anchors, she had texted me and said like, word on the street they're destroying the Augusta Mall. I was like, are you serious? And I was like, please tell me that's a rumor, because I was like they just had a peaceful protest out there and it went well, and it will be disappointing and frustrating to know that they damaged the damn only mall that Augusta has. and
you know what? Even though it's like it's not a serious time when we should be laughing, but those comments were very true and funny online. They were like, y'all, let's be honest, Augusta, we all know Atlanta can afford to damage a few things. Now Augusta, y'all know. Y'all know.
You gotta think, man, some people like me traveling an hour to come to H&M. You know what I'm saying? That's the only H&M.
Like y'all,
200-mile radius.
It was funny, but it's very true. Like, come on, Augusta, like let's do this thing, you know. Like, you know, like, let's be honest, like, we go burn airstrike. Like, kids are screwed.
Hey, there ain't no more airstrike.
Like, kids are screwed, right? Like, you talking about, you know, let's just be honest now. Like, let's think about this thing before we go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was very true. It's funny, but it's very true though, man. Very true. So let's think about this thing.
So while we was, I told her, I was like, you know what? As we finish wrapping it up at this location, then we'll go over there and see what's going on, and we'll let you know if it's actually true or not. Come to find out, it wasn't true, but come to find out it wasn't true. She texted me before we even left to go there, but I said, you know what? I'll check just to make sure, because I was like, because she said that he circled around the building. So I was like, well, what if it's going inside the damn mall and he didn't go inside the mall? So I was like, we'll actually go there and we'll actually go inside the mall, and if nothing seems to be going on, then we'll let you know. But yeah, and come to find out, no damage, and no one. That was just the rumor. That probably was something that was gonna happen, and it probably was nipped in the bud, because I just don't see something like a rumor like that just popping out of nowhere, and there was no intention of that actually happening.
Yeah.
So. And
one thing, Augusta, one of the few cities, just as far as at least around from Columbia, Atlanta, Augusta, one of the only few cities I can think of. Maybe Fayetteville too, which Fayetteville ain't as big. It's probably kind of like Augusta, but. One of the few cities that actually had a completely peaceful protest. Yeah. You know, a lot of places did not have a peaceful protest, even if
that was the intention.
Yeah, I was about to say, even though intent.
I think that people forget about that is that, you know, protests that become unpeaceful, sometimes they are, it's orchestrated and it's meant for it. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of times people forget that, you know, it's like I said, everything is on a spectrum. It's a group of people that comes out that's planning to have a peace protest. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of people that tag along that realize, say, this ain't good enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do something. And you know what I'm saying? It grows from there. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop talking so many things, you know, as just, okay, a riot happened, these people came to riot.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, these group of people came to have a peaceful protest. Then a fourth of them decided to riot. And then maybe some spilled over from that 3/4 that wasn't gonna riot. Said, you know what I'm saying? It's on a spectrum, man. And I think good media should do a better job of explaining that. But I also understand that we are in a capitalist society. It's about headlines that make, you know what I'm saying, it's the truth. And even me, that don't make them the worst people in the world. At the end of the day, they got bills to pay and kids to take care of too. And honestly, nobody want to hear about how 3/4 of the protesters stayed peaceful and the 4th one, nobody want to hear about that. People want to hear about them protesters went and bombed their auto loan. That's what people want to hear. So, you know, but I think that's just kind of the trigger. Just so many things are. And just like I said, in life, it's on a spectrum. It's definitely on the spectrum.
What I found that was funny is I was watching, you know, Nike put out, I guess, like an ad about talking about
the one LeBron.
Yeah, you know how they always say just do it, and then this time they said, what is it like? Just don't do it, something like that. And someone said, nah, someone said, nah, they really wanted to say, just don't do it to my Nike.
Oh, you know, I said they need Jordan.
They need Jordan, boy. Jordan, get in here, take for that, boy. Just don't do it, boy. But
it's like, what mama mentality at, man?
Right.
Nah, stop.
Yeah, so yeah, man. I just think, man, it's been, like I say, it's been different, and I just think that, you know, even with the comments that's been shared, like I said, everything's on the spectrum, man. Because, you know, the truth of the matter is whether things are founded in truth, not founded in truth. It's things about us at the end of the day that we believe. And one of the core differences between, I feel, us and white America is, and it's messed up because it's them not understanding, but I can respect it, is that it's when things are negative said about us, whether we're rightful to believe it and like it is truthful and we're just being good human beings by bringing it truthful, but at the end of the day, it's a lot easier. The difference between us and white America is a big chunk of white America just can't believe this country is that bad. They just can't believe it. But, you know, whether it's me defending it away or the person that, whoever I was responding to, that was like, you know, we treat each other like this, like that, and which is some truth founded in that. And that's not, I'm not even trying to get back totally on that argument, but it's a simple fact of look at the difference in the mindset. Mm-hmm. They believe something about this country, they're gonna die believing it. Yeah. It's the best place in the world to be. There's no place like it. You need to fix yourselves, black people, to get along in this country. And whether that's true or not, I'm not even arguing that right now. Which of course I don't believe that, but I'm not arguing about it. But that's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just simply how they feel. And you know, it begs the question of,
it's kind of like a religion.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's just all the scientific fact in the world. Studies can show you that what you believe is not. That's not. But man, that's what I believe. Okay, what kind of evidence and facts you got? This is what I believe. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, it begs the question to us is that, you know, as a group, what do we believe about ourselves? I think is what is a question that comes to mind. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, what do we hardly believe about ourselves? And I don't think we have as of a concrete answer as they may have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't. I think it depends on who you talk to.
And if you really study, Stacey made a really good point on this. She was like, honestly, they just as messed up, if not more, than we are. They might hide it better, or they might, you know how to manipulate it better, but they just as messed up, if not worse, than we are. You know what I'm saying? At the end of it, like you were saying, if you lose a son, you still gonna grieve. Cause you're human. It don't matter how tough and strong you are.
It don't matter if that son did something wrong for him not to be here. Just the human response is, you know, you don't, nobody, when you take race out, when you talking about this family, goes to, well, you know what? Then that might be your later response. Hey, this is the life you live though. But your initial response is, my baby ain't here no more. Yeah. And to ask any black person to deny that initial response, is you speaking how you feel about their humanity as whether you're a black or a white person. Because the initial human response is, damn. Forget the reason that they're gone, but the fact that they're just not here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then, your more educated, more thoughtful responses come, down the line.
Exactly.
Have anything else? Though? Well, this concludes this podcast episode, and if y'all want to continue the conversation, y'all can continue that in the comment section.
Yeah.
And look forward to seeing y'all next Sunday.
Yeah, man.